Okay, well, we're going to do a special interview today because this is a special topic near and dear to the hearts of all of us entrepreneurs out there. I have Chris Cook, the Director of Capital Access for the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. And I believe it was last week that the MEDC and the Governor Whitmer announced that $237 million would be available for small business loans, venture capital funds, investments, and the like. And so, Chris, I was kind of hoping you could first give us the overview of how the money is going to be spent, and then we'll dig into the specifics.
Sure. Yes, I appreciate the invitation to join today. The $237 million is a part of a $10 billion program that was passed last March as a part of the American Recovery Plan. It allows each state and territory to operate programs that support small business lending and investment, with Michigan's announced allocation being $237 million. So the funding will be generally allocated between three different buckets. One will be a continuation of some programming that we've been operating for about the last 11 years, which supports generally small manufacturing companies through collateral or participation. In this round, we will be adding two new streams. One will be for early stage investment in companies through partnering with Michigan-based equity providers. And then also we're going to be looking at expanding the use of the programming so that it is more readily available for small businesses, businesses that are seeking, generally a few $100,000 as opposed to, in the millions. That's an area certainly, the economy over the last couple of years with COVID, those small businesses, Main Street businesses have been particularly hard hit. And frankly, just over the years, the availability of capital for those businesses has not been the same as for their larger counterparts. So we're going to be looking at developing programming to better address the financing needs of those what we call very small businesses.
Well, that would certainly be my company as well. And I relate to everything you just described. Not only did we get hammered by the pandemic, I can't tell you how many of my advertisers said, love what you're doing, don't have any money. Don't want to hear that, And then when you go out and try to get money, I mean, I tried to get money through the SBA and they said I didn't get hurt enough to qualify for the money. And I thought, I showed them my books. I don't know what else I got to do. So I've never been a big fan of the federal government to begin with. But so what can small businesses, I'm not sure as small as mine, I'm a very small operation, but small business in general, you were saying money's available. I don't know whether all of them need a couple 100,000, but even 50,000 or 40,000 or something to kind of bridge the divide here as we revive the economy and things begin to go again. I mean, for instance, I used up all my available cash, and that's not a very comfortable position to be in. And I'm sure a lot of other small businesses are the same way right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, we are looking at programming potentially supporting loans as small as maybe $5,000. So it's going to be, very open in its structure. These programs will run generally through small business lenders like community development financial institutions, community banks, credit unions, minority depository institutions that, as a part of those, operations normal functions, typically lend, those, maybe provide those 10, 20, $50,000 loans that a lot of those small businesses need. And so, that absolutely is going to be a focus of this new funding and the new programming, as you noted, that was approved initially by the Michigan Strategic Fund Board last week.
Right. Okay. Also, I mean, and early on in the pandemic, money was flowing through the 15 smart zones or whatever the number is these days. For instance, here in Ann Arbor, it's Spark. Other places, it's other names. Will you be working with those organizations as well on this?
So these programs are specifically for loans and investments. So all of this funding is going to be running through lenders of some type. Again, whether that's traditional banks, credit unions, CDFIs, or minority depository institutions. So the way these programs are structured, it has to be at least a 1-to-1 match of private capital to the new SSBCI funding. So it's not direct lending, it's not grants, but what it is a set of programming that allows companies that may not be able to obtain conventional financing to be able to still obtain the capital that is needed to support those small businesses.
Okay, so when you say 1-to-1, for instance, if it's you need to get to say $20,000, 10,000 would come from your fund, and then the private institution would match it with 10,000, something like that.
Potentially, generally, what we're going to be looking at is partnering directly with those lenders, and so we will be providing either a participation, where we are providing potentially even that 1-to-1 match from a funding perspective, or some sort of a partial guarantee on the funding that makes those lenders more comfortable in providing that financing.
Okay, great. Any other points you want to make that I didn't ask you about?
Yeah, I just want to additionally note that this new funding, does come with some requirements. We talked about small business lending. But there is a carve out within this funding that will need to be provided to very small businesses, which is being defined by Treasury as 10 employees or less. And then also for what is defined as socially and economically disadvantaged individual owned businesses. And that's either a majority minority owned business or businesses located in low income census tracts. And so, we are looking for ways, in addition to supporting just small business that certainly needs the funding, looking at ways to provide this funding in an equitable manner. And so, that is going to be a part of the programming as well.
So it's I can do a strategic fund. And approved this last week. How long is it going to take to actually get the funding out to the folks that need it?
Well, that's one of the big questions. The application to U.S. Treasury is due next week. I'm hoping to be able to finish that and actually send it in, this week. We don't have a definitive timeline on when the funding will be available. We're hoping, maybe sometime still in the spring, the strategic fund will actually receive the capital. We'll know, however, that as this is a continuation of a program that was originally approved in 2010, and so we do have some programming still available. We've been recycling that prior funding allocation, and so we are still approving deals and providing that additional support. We're just going to have kind of some additional tools and resources as soon as that new funding comes in.
All right. So a couple months probably, right?
That's what we're hoping, yes.
Okay. Sounds great. And if folks want further information about this, do they reach out to MEDC? Who do they reach out to?
Yes, so they can begin reaching out to MEDC through our website, MichiganBusiness.org, and specifically the section of that page on capital access. And as we have more information about these new programs as they are launching, I expect that we're going to be providing a lot of additional outreach and marketing to make sure that lenders and small businesses in the market know that funding is available.
All right, sounds great. And of course, everybody wants to know this final question here, final answer. So is Punxsutawney Phil going to see his shadow tomorrow? Because boy, we're tired of winter already in Michigan.
I will hope that winter ends, but I think we can all agree that Bill Murray will be on TV a lot tomorrow. And so
Seen that movie, what, 10 times now or something, right? So, yeah. All right. Well, cool. Thanks very much. We appreciate it, Chris. I hope to get you back on the MI Tech News again real soon. Thanks.